Hi guys, it's Julie. Welcome back to my wonderful BC life. I'm back today with a smaller sized Dollarama haul, and also I'm going to do a little bit of a vlog before I start, seeing as my haul's not that long. I had a couple of things I wanted to chat about. So I thought I'd start off with my opinions on Canada's Got Talent this year. Now, as some of you may know, I am a major fan of our Vancouver Island boys, Carlo and Jackson, who are Funkanometry, and they were competing on Canada's Got Talent this year. Now, the boys were doing fantastic. They made it to the finals. The finals was, I believe, 8 people when they started, and then they knocked a few off, and anyways, they got down to the final 4. And then they got down to the final 2. Now, no offense to the girl that they were up against. She did have a very nice singing voice. I wouldn't have given her a 10 out of 10. I may have given her an 8 out of 10. I thought there was a bit of room for improvement there. But anyway, the crowd reactions were that the crowd absolutely loved Funkanometry, and the judges did too. They just loved those boys. And here's how it went. It got down to the final 2. Everybody had to do their voting, but here's where the problem came into play. Now, we're in all different time zones here in Canada. And the show was being taped in Niagara Falls, which is Eastern time zone. And there are various other time zones throughout the country. So the problem was, when the show was being taped live in Niagara Falls, you had to vote during that time. Well, that time varied greatly depending on where you were in the country. There were, like for instance here, in order for us to vote, we had to vote between roughly 5 and 6:30. So around a time when a lot of people would be eating supper still. And the shows, unless you could do time shifting, which we can do on our TV, but not everybody would do. A lot of people are going to watch the program at 8 o'clock when it comes on. Well, say you're here in BC, you go to watch the program at 8 o'clock, you think you're going to get to vote. No, you're not. Voting's already done. Voting was done in Ontario time. So anyway, I don't mean to sound bitter, but I kind of am, let's be honest, because I really think the boys would have won had it been done differently. Anyway, like I say, the boys did not win. They came in second, which is still very, very good, don't get me wrong. But I just really felt that based on the judges' responses to them and to the crowd's responses to them and the performance that they put on, I really think they would have won if the voting would have been done differently. So anyway, like I say, they came in second, but I really think that if they do this again next year, have Canada's Got Talent again, I think they need to do that judging differently so that it's fair to everybody. Because, some people aren't even home from work yet. 5 o'clock, there are people still working. So, I don't think it was fair the way the judging was done. And like I say, it is what it is, but I think City TV, if they continue to have Canada's Got Talent, and I'm sure that they will, that they need to change that. So, I realize that they would likely have to film the next day, film the results the following day, which, yes, for them it's more work, but it would have been more fair to the contestants because, like I say, I don't think it was fair the way it was. So, enough about that. I don't know how many of you have watched my video from last weekend, from my Mother's Day. But what happened there, if you didn't read my comment, because not everybody probably reads the comments, was my son who lives in Whistler, he had to work all weekend. I'm pretty sure he's working all this weekend too. He's a snow groomer, for those who don't know, in the mountains on Whistler. He does snow grooming. So I believe this is probably their last weekend for that, and he has to work. So he couldn't very well spend Mother's Day with me. He would have been sleeping during the daytime and stuff. So I didn't want to screw up his sleep pattern or anything. So we were going to go up to Whistler until we found out that he was working, and then we decided we better not. So anyway, when he heard that we were thinking about coming up there, he decided that he wanted to arrange for us to have a nice weekend away. Well, he and Emily, they both love the Sunshine Coast of BC. That's basically, you go across to like the Strait of Georgia, or Georgia Street, I always forget which way it goes, is right next to Nanaimo. Like, that's when you see me out looking at the water, that's what I'm looking at. And the Sunshine Coast is what is on the, the other side of that. And like I say, it's just beautiful there. But Richard and Emily love it there, and he decided that he thought it would be nice for us to have a little weekend away on the Sunshine Coast. So he went and booked for us to be there for 2 nights, the Friday and the Saturday. Well, Dave had to work till 4:30, and by the time he gets home, changes out of his dirty work clothes, and by the time we could get to the ferry terminal, hopefully get on a ferry without even having to wait. You don't even know. You might have had to wait. And anyway, so by the time we got on to the ferry, get across to Vancouver to Horseshoe Bay, and then you have to take another ferry to get to the Sunshine Coast, it probably would have been very late, like midnight or something. So I had to cancel the one night that he had booked for us, and we just went for the Saturday night, and it was very nice. We stayed at a bed and breakfast in Secret Cove, which is, I don't know, I'd say it was about in the middle of the Sunshine Coast, give or take, not too far from Seashell. And like I say, we had a beautiful time there, even though it was rushed. But the funny thing was, on the Sunday when we had to come back, because, Dave had to work the next day, we decided, when we first went over, I'm probably missing a part here. When we first went over, we drove up to Comox, and we had never taken the ferry before between Comox and Powell River, which is north of the part of the Sunshine Coast that we were going to. So we decided for something to do so we could see different scenery, we would take that ferry. So we went Comox to Powell River. So now we've fiddled around in Powell River a little bit, didn't spend too much time there, but we were there for a little bit, had our lunch at a little park there, and then we had to catch another ferry to get to the part of the Sunshine Coast we were going to. So now we catch that ferry, we get over there, we drive over to where we're going to stay, and we poke around a little bit there around Seashell and stuff. And anyway, we had a nice time. I had to laugh because in my video you'll see a picture. You probably can't really tell what it is so much, but what it was a pickup truck, and it was parked in the parking lot at the bed and breakfast. It was the lady who runs the place, that was her truck. And there on the truck were these great big bear prints all over her truck, and we actually spoke to her, and she said, "Did you see the bear prints on my truck?" And we were like, "Yes, we did." That must have been something to see, and she actually caught it when it was on there. But anyways, they did have a lot of signs about bears and stuff, so they must have a lot of them there. So and when we were in Powell River, they even had grizzly signs at the park we stopped at. They must have grizzlies occasionally in the Powell River area. So anyway, the next day we drive down to Gibson's, walked around in there a bit, and had our breakfast and stuff like that. And we thought, well, Dave says he didn't know how long the ferries were going to take. He thought, we don't want to be here too late, because he doesn't want to get back home too late. He doesn't want to have to get home and then immediately go to bed. He wants to get home and rest for a while and watch TV and stuff. So Anyway, we decided to take the other ferry. There's about an hour and 15 minutes between the Powell River ferry and the other one that goes to Horseshoe Bay. So we're at Gibson's, which is close to the one that goes to Horseshoe Bay, which is Vancouver. So we decide to go and take that one. So we're waiting in the line, and the ferry came and all the cars piled onto it, but not us. There were a bunch of cars besides us as well that couldn't fit onto the ferry, and we had to wait for the next one. Well, I looked to see when the next one was going to come, and it was hours away. And I thought, oh no, I'm sitting there. I'm just like sweating to death, sitting in the car. The sun's beating right on me, and I'm like, I really don't want to sit here for that many hours waiting for the next ferry to come. So we said, well, why don't we just drive down to the other end and we'll catch the ferry there. So I guess we didn't think this thing out as carefully as we needed to. We didn't stop and do the math and look at the ferry times and stuff, because you just assume that the ferries are, you know, there and back, and it's like a 50-minute ferry, I think it was, at Powell River. You just assumed it would be back fairly quickly if you missed one. So anyway, we drive the hour and 15 minutes, and it's a very windy road in some spots. Anyway, we drive all the way down there, and we get there, and there's hardly any cars in the line, so you know you've just missed the ferry by not very much. And we look at the time, and it's like, oh no, it's not coming for hours. And we're like, oh no, this is terrible. There was a restaurant right there. We stopped and grabbed a bite to eat because it was getting close to supper time at this point. And in all honesty, the food was not great. We both were not happy with it at all. But anyways, that was my Mother's Day dinner. I'm sure Dave will make it up to me at some point. But anyways, it's like, oh, this is ridiculous. We can't sit here waiting that long. And we knew that when we finally got it, we still had to catch another ferry at this point, because once we got to Powell River, we had to catch that ferry, and that ferry was sold out for the day. I almost forgot that part. That ferry was sold out for the day, and you're like, oh no, we have no choice now, whether we want to or not. And I'm getting hot here. Anyway, we have no choice now. We have to drive the hour and 15 minutes back to the other one at Gibson's. So now we do that. Had to wait again. Our timing was terrible as far as ferries went. And the ferry was delayed. And then when we got to the other side, our ferry had been delayed enough that we saw the ferry coming in that we knew we had to catch. And we thought, maybe if it hurries up, we'll be able to get on that one. No. I kid you not. We got stopped at the little booth there, and at the booth we had to wait. They put the pylons up. Nobody said anything. They just put pylons up and made you wait. And I'm going, oh, this is not good. How are we going to catch that ferry that we just saw coming in if we're stuck way back here? This is slowing us down. We can't get in the line. It wasn't like that ferry was sold out, because it was not. Anyway, she finally takes the pylons away and lets us in. We get in there, and the ferry had just left, and I kid you not, we were the very first car. Now we're sitting there, the pylons are in front of us, and we can't go anywhere. And we waited, I think it was over 2 hours at that point, for the next ferry to come back. And by the time we got home, I forget the exact time, it was somewhere between 12:30 a.m. and 1. And poor Dave had to get up to go to work first thing in the morning. So other than the mix-up with those bloomin' ferries, it was a really nice time, but boy, that was bad at the end. So if you noticed me make, oh, thank God, here we are at Nanaimo, that was why I made that comment, because that was just absolutely ridiculous what we went through to get home. But the Sunshine Coast is beautiful. It really is. And I would have loved to have spent more time there and explored more. But like I say, we were on a limited schedule, unfortunately. But anyway, I will stop for a moment and go get my items for my Dollarama haul. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, everything I have in my haul today is Dollarama, except for I do have one item at the very end that I would like to show that I picked up at the Real Canadian Superstore. So I imagine that item could be available at just about any store that you'd happen to go into, grocery store or maybe even Walmart or something. But I'll save it till last. Anyway, the first thing I got, and you'll say to yourself, if you've been following me for a while, you'll say, Julie, why are you buying more socks again? And don't get me wrong, I really have a lot of socks right now. I was actually just going through my sock drawer and you would not believe how many socks I had in there. But I kept finding that if I had a top with pink on, and I sort of like to coordinate whatever my top is to my socks, that I'm looking at my socks in my drawer, and a lot of them, the tone wasn't the right tone. It wasn't like pink enough. It was maybe leaning towards peach or leaning towards more of a purple spectrum. I just didn't think it was working. So when I saw these socks, I thought, well, these look more pink to me. So even though I don't need socks for the most part, I'm going to buy them so I'll have some that match my pink things. So these are made by Comfy Toes, and they say they're arch support socks. Now, I don't know what a sock does to, help you out with your arch supports, but they claim that they have it. And they're for sizes 4 to 10, and they are $2.50 for a package of 3. That's what those look like. And as you can see, this one's mostly pink. The little hook just fell off and distracted me. Only in my life, I tell you. So that one has a lot of pink, and then the middle one looks like it's just gray, and then this one on the other end has the pinks and the gray. So anyway, I got those for $2.50. And then I've already bought one of these. I've got one in my bathroom, but I saw that they still had some at one of the stores, and I kind of like the one I've got, so I thought I'd get one for the guest bathroom downstairs. And it's the Lori makeup brush holder, and it's the A Smile is the Best Makeup, this one says. They had one there too, and I didn't see it at the store that I got this one at. One of the other stores had the one that says, you look marvelous. And I kind of like that one too, but it wasn't at the store that I was at when I got this one here. So anyway, like I say, it's made by Lori, and we all know we like Lori products at Dollarama. So for $4, I got that for the guest bathroom. And it'll sort of go along with something else that's coming up. Now, the next item I got, I had bought one of these already too, and I decided to get a different color. The one I got before was black with like the little thin black and white stripes. And this one here is like a, I would say like a pink and blue mostly, maybe a bit of green in there, floral. And it's the ombre sport visor with the keyhole for your ponytail. There's the label. And there's the little visor hat. So anyway, I decided to get one that had some floral on it. I do like floral patterns. I actually like this pattern better than the other one, but I got the other one in more of a neutral color because if I'm wearing something that has a pattern on it, I'm not going to want a pattern on my blouse and then a different pattern on my visor. So this one here, if I'm wearing a plain color like a blue or a pink or something, that's when I'll wear this one. And like I said, I don't know if I said, but that's $4. And then I got this for hubby. I bought it for him because I knew he had just emptied one, and I did not know he had another one, but he tells me that he does. But anyway, I got it for him anyway, and he will use it. He washes the cars every week, so I know he'll use it. It's the Pro Auto Super Foaming Formula Car Wash, and it's concentrated. 1.89 liters and 64 fluid ounces for $4.50. And that looks like that. Closer look at the label for you there. Anyway, I got him that. And then the next items, so I'll go with this one first. I also bought another one of these already too. And I decided to get another one. I saw this color and I thought it was pretty. I like the colors for my bathroom. It's sort of like got a seafoam green or like a, I don't know. I never know where the line sometimes is between greens and blues, but whatever the color is, I liked it. And it's a D Maison door rug, the braided one, for $4.50. And that's what that one looks like. And like I say, you can see that the pretty color on the inside of this one. As soon as I saw it sitting there, I thought, oh, I like that one. I'm going to get it. So the next item is something that I have seen numerous times on the Facebook pages. And I think I've seen some people haul it. I'm pretty sure Missy hauled it and gave it to her friend Wendy, maybe, I think. Anyway, I saw it and I was surprised that they showed up because I was looking for them. It must have been at least a month ago. It was a while ago that I was looking and they were nowhere to be seen then. And yet here I am in May walking along and looking for it, and all of a sudden, oh, there's those that I was looking for before. Anyway, these were $5 and they're the Dr. Seuss designs. They were exclusively at Hobby Lobby at one time, and the price on the back shows that when Hobby Lobby had them, they were $14.99. That's kind of bent, but you can see $14.99 there. Anyway, this one says, "Let it snow elsewhere." And we know that's my motto. Let it snow in Whistler. I don't care. I don't want it to snow where I am. I'm just not a snow person. I don't like sliding, not when I'm driving and not when I'm walking. Anyway, and the other one that they had is the Don't Be So Grinchy, with the Grinch with his little doggy. And I got those for Christmas time, like I don't have enough Christmas stuff. But anyway, I saw them and I thought, oh, I gotta get them now that I've gone and seen them. The next items are something I have been seeing for a little while, and I've been debating on it, and I thought, I even talked about it in one of my videos. I said, oh, I don't know. I just don't see myself as being the glamorous type. And for that reason, I didn't buy them. Well, if you've been following my videos, you know that I recently bought all 4 of those big Marilyn Monroe pictures. And Marilyn Monroe is the glamorous type, or she was, as fate is. But anyway, because of that, when I saw these, I stopped and thought about it. I thought, well, the guest bedroom has Marilyn Monroe in it, and the bathroom, which is right off of the guest bedroom, doesn't really have anything on the wall other than that, if you recall, I got that wooden sleigh. I'm just leaving it up year round. Once you've drilled the holes, you might as well leave it there. But anyway, I saw these again and I thought, I think they'll tie in with the Marilyn pictures. That's at least my thoughts on it. And they're the Home Deco, and $4.50. And we've got this lady, and then we have the other lady. I like the way, you see how the lips are like a 3D and her fingernails are a 3D, and this is like a 3D. I like that. I think that makes it look more expensive. And for $4.50 a piece, I believe that's what it was. Yes, it's underneath my hand. Yes, for $4.50, I decided to pick those up for the spare bedrooms ensuite, as we will call it. So, anyway, I got those. Now that was my Dollarama item. The next item was from the Real Canadian Superstore, but it's something that you could likely find at a store near you because it wouldn't be the type of thing that would be exclusive to them. And it's the Chester's Corn Twists, and they're a cheese-flavored corn twists. And that's what those look like. You see how it's a cheese-flavored corn twists. And I've actually got a bag of the regular corn twists up in the cupboard right now. I actually quite enjoy them. But I've never seen them in a cheese flavor before. So I thought, I love cheesies and I love corn twists. So to me, like, this should be really good. I would hope anyway. So for $2.25, I picked up one bag of those. So that was my video for today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button as it helps my channel to grow. And also, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And be sure to hit the notification bell and set it to all so you don't miss any of my uploads. And I hope everybody's doing well, healthy and happy. And I would like to thank you all for joining me today. The long weekend is coming up. I'm sure we're all excited about that. And hopefully everybody has a safe and happy long weekend. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bonus here, eh, Jerk?
Yeah.
You guys see the CO2 to this coast.
Just